Hey, good afternoon, everyone. It's Trendy John over here at Simpler Trading. I hope you all are doing well today. Today is the broad market analysis we're going to cover this week. It is a short week. We do have a holiday, that's Thanksgiving on Thursday. And then Friday, I believe we do have a half a day, or we're closing down about 1 o'clock Eastern time. Also, note that this week's calendar still says economic reports originally scheduled for this week that are not listed here have been postponed due to the government shutdown from October the 1st to November the 12th. Let's go ahead and take a look, though, at what we're looking for this week. Remember, these are just catalysts that push price to our buy and sell zones. Notice on Monday we have nothing scheduled. That's tomorrow, the 24th. And then on Tuesday, the 25th, we have U.S. retail sales, core PPI, S&P Case-Shiller, home price index, consumer confidence, and then pending home sales. And then coming in on Wednesday, we have initial jobless claims, durable goods. Thursday, November the 27th, as I said, it is a Thanksgiving holiday. There is nothing scheduled. And then on Friday, Chicago Business Barometer. I believe the market is closing at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern. Just go ahead and check your calendars. I believe that's what we brought up last week. The next thing that I want to be looking at is going to be this week's earnings calendar. I like to use this on X, Earning Whispers. If there are any names in here that you guys would like for me to cover this week for a possible trade, just let me know. Far as like names that I'm interested in, Baba, who is reporting Tuesday morning, and then we have John Deere on Wednesday afternoon. Everything else, not really too excited about, but if you guys are, please let me know. Let's go ahead and move on to the bigger picture, which is going to be the SPY. One thing that I do want to bring up for this week, the weekly, still looks kind of bearish, but we've come down quite a bit. And so I am looking for some sort of relief bounce. There's a very important level. We'll go over that. But let's look at the quarterly first. We did come up and hit our 2025 projection. We are inside at the moment. If the SPY decides to get up and over the body of this previous quarter, I'd be looking for that three white soldiers, as I've explained over the last several months, for a push back into the 2025 projection up here. At the moment, we are inside. The 9 EMA is creeping up a little bit more. So it's nice that we're kind of closing this gap of diversion between the two, but we still have a long distance here. Okay. Let's go ahead and move into the weekly. But before we do, this is the chart that I really want to talk about because we all can see that the charts are bearish, I guess, for the last several weeks. But overall, when I am measuring this entire move for this year, it is extremely bullish still. One thing that I'm noticing though is the 9 EMA and current price and this 23.6. That 23.6 is the extreme bull channel, and there looks to be some confluence here. So if prices were to take out last week's lows and come down, I'm definitely looking for buyers to show up somewhere by this 641 into this 9 EMA. My point is pay attention to the monthly. We don't typically talk about it a lot, but just watch the monthly in case we do take out previous lows. I'd be looking for a touch of that 9 EMA. Now let's go ahead and get over to the weekly. All right, so on the weekly, we did go inside and down. You could see that formation here. We did push through all these three bullish weeks. We pushed through that. We made a new low. Again, if we were to break down underneath this previous low, look for prices to come down into that 23.6. On the way up, bulls, in order for me to feel extremely bullish again, we're going to at least have to stay above the 618 for at least 3 days at a minimum. That level is 675, and you guys could see that after market on Friday, we were at around 660. To the upside, I would be aware of where your bearish golden profit levels are, and that's taking your 50 and your 618 and combining them. So if I were to go from that swing high to the swing low, you could see that the 50 and the 618 are confluent with the inside and down formation. So good resistance right in this area. Far as the rest of the week, I would say that I would use the low as your, primary number to know that, hey, if we take that out, look for that 23.6. And then I would use this 618 as your primary number to the upside. So everything between that, I would consider neutral. Obviously, we're going to day trade and so forth, but those are my primary numbers moving forward. Okay. All right. So the next thing that I want to be looking at is the cues. So we're going to go ahead and get in here. And same thing, let's go ahead and look at the bigger picture. We came up, we hit the 2025 projection. Nice move, but now we are inside, just like on the weekly. And if I take these out of the way, you'll notice again, we are inside. That 594 is resistance for the time being. Notice that our 9 EMA is quite some distance below. And again, we are inside. And if we were to get it up and over the body, which is around 600, we would then have that 3 white soldiers formation, which is very bullish. At the moment, we're just basically inside. Let's go ahead and go to the weekly. Same thing. You can see here, 3 weeks down. I would be expecting a bounce from here. Same thing, if you want to use this entire rally this year and measure, you can see that we came right down into the 23.6, kind of the same thing that I'm talking about on the SPY. That was a key level, and we came into it, and we are finding support there. Just like the SPY on the upside, I have found the 618, and you could do the same. You could just come up to your swing high, which is at around here, do this, and you'll notice that our 50 and 618 is around this formation as well. That's going to give you some resistance. Bulls, I'm really not excited unless we can at least get above the 618 for at least 3 days in a row. Okay. As far as the downside, once again, if we were to put these major primary coefficients up here, if we were to break down, our next level is 561 by 541. Okay. Let's go ahead now and look at the monthly just very quickly. And again, I don't typically go over the monthly with you, but I am seeing some confluence here. Just in case we take out the lows, I would be looking for a touch back to that 9 EMA. And it is confluent with my next target, which is at around 562, 561 and a half. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and get into our next chart, which is going to be the dollar. You'll notice that in the dollar, it's gotten quite bullish, if you will. And when it gets bullish, things get a little bit more rocky in the market. Notice here on the monthly, we've been going up for the last 2 months here after hitting that zone that I talked about for many, many months back. Let's go ahead and look at the weekly. If you're looking at this, this is a double inside and up formation. We did close above the cloud, noticing that the cloud is starting to turn to the upside. We are now neutral, and it does look bullish, but what I would say is we are still in the bear channel. Your major numbers are going to be 99.46 and 101.51. As long as prices are in here, I see continued choppiness in the market. If we start to break above 101.5, then the dollar is looking really bullish and can move up into 103 by 105. If we were to break back down below 99.4, then I'm looking for the bullish or the bullishness to continue in the market as well. But as long as we're in here, I'm looking for more choppy conditions. Let's go ahead and move on into the TNX. Not much has changed. Our major zones up here, inside and down, and the inside and up. Again, my overall sentiment was we would push down into this 3.8. So, the question is, what are the Feds going to do in December? Odds are that they're not going to reduce rates, but, who knows? Who knows? The charts are telling me something else, but I'm not going to say anything, okay? But this is what I'm looking for. Again, not really concerned unless we get down to the 3.8 and not concerned unless we get over 5.005. The next thing that I want to be looking at is the skew. This is interesting. I actually thought I would open this up and we would be down finally towards the risk on for 5 days. But instead, the little bit of bullishness that we got actually pushed the skew up to the upside. And now we're sitting at 148 again. We just can't seem to get to these extreme levels. And honestly, I was quite shocked considering how far the fear and greed index went down. I think we saw a low of like 5 this past week. So again, a little shocked on this number because Friday, sure, we got a bounce, but it wasn't that amazing. It actually faded a little bit towards the end of the day. Anyways, the skew right now is just telling me, again, choppy conditions. Let's go ahead and move on into the fear and greed index. You'll notice here that it is at 11. We are still at extreme fear. The majority of participants in the market are kind of sitting on their hands, if you will, or still buying puts. It feels a little skewed at this time. I feel as if you're too fearful down here, and you're still scared, I guess. I would be looking for a pretty sizable bounce to continue. Again, we'll know when the futures open up tonight. And speaking of, let's go ahead and get into the ES futures. My overall sentiment, although the banners would say that the monthly and weekly are bearish and the overall year is still extremely bullish, I'm going to have to say neutral because of the fact that we've gone down several weeks in a row. So I am looking for some sort of relief bounce. It's important to understand when we talk about a relief bounce that the market has pushed down. What I like to do is place my coefficients on the swing high to swing low. And when I say a relief bounce, you're looking for prices to move up to 23.6. If we get up and over that, 38.2. And I would expect things to stall around the 50 and 618. Notice here, you do not see the bearish channel, but if you want, again, just go ahead and place your Fibonacci's from the swing high into the swing low. Take note of where the 23 and 38.2 are. This is your bear channel. And again, the bearish golden profit level is aligned with the inside and down formation, just like we saw on the SPY. If you want, you could go ahead and place a number here, or sorry, a line at the 38.2. If we can get up and above this level, 6686, that means we are no longer in the bear channel and bulls can and will attempt to get up towards that 618 that I talked about. Our major levels, if we take out the lows, I'm looking for prices to come into this zone. It is aligned with the 23.6. And if we push to the upside and not take out the lows, I do believe that we can get up towards this bearish golden profit level in the ES futures. Over here on the daily, we have our triggers. Go ahead and just pause the screen. You can put these levels on your chart. To the upside, my resistance level is at 66.85. My short trigger is 6772. Basically, it is around the trendy edge here. And then our first buy trigger is down here at the lower trendy edge. And then below that, we have a little zone at around 6508. As a reminder, if you wouldn't mind just hitting that like button, thank you very much. Let's go ahead and move on and go into the 4-hour. Our 4-hour, all I want to do is just point out where our weekly edges are. These are your numbers going into this week. Our overall ATR that we're looking for during the week is about 190 points. Notice that our weekly edge is 6770 by 6556. This is really easy to understand. Trendy edges, we're looking at the lower edge as an area to go long. The upper edge, an area where I would be careful as we could see a short setup or where selling could continue. Let's go ahead and move on to the Nasdaq. And same thing, let's start with the weekly. Notice that we have 3 weeks down. Okay, again, looking for a relief bounce. I just went over that. If you want the bear channel, let's go ahead and go up to the swing high to swing low. And basically, you can see we're still in the bear channel. We need at least get above the 23.6, which is at around 24,492. Again, I think we could make an attempt if we get a relief bounce here towards the bearish golden profit level or the 618. Moving on, looking at the daily, again, these are my triggers. Remember, when price gets to the triggers, we're actually looking at lower time frames to get the confirmation if we want to go long or short. Again, these are the levels. Go ahead and throw them on your chart. Moving on, the 4-hour, same thing. Just want you to be aware of where the lower weekly edge is and where the upper weekly edge is. As we get lower towards this area, this is where I want to be looking to go long. And if we get towards this area, just being careful, bringing up those stops and potentially getting back into short positions. The next thing that I want to look at is Bitcoin. Seems to be a big topic. We're going to concentrate on the bigger picture. And here's the quarterly. One thing that I noted is that after we broke down quite viciously, if you will, we did hit the 9 EMA and we have bounced from there. If we break down below there, expect prices to continue towards 75 and potentially 64. On the weekly, you'll notice we went from green to white to red momentum. We did come into a pocket here that I would expect for a relief bounce, and so far we have gotten somewhat of a relief bounce. But just like everything else I've shown you, this is your bear channel, 91.6 by 98.4. And if we get a really nice rally, I wouldn't expect it to go over 103 by 109. I'd expect this area to set up again as a possible short or at least consolidation in this area. All right, folks, so that's my overall BMA. My overall sentiment is neutral. Let's have an amazing week. It's a short one. Let's enjoy it. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Have a great day.